With Dave Canales and the Carolina Panthers moseying on into the Windy City today, they come in with an idea of an offensive identity that they want to stick to. Knowing that they have several defensive players on injured reserve and one's due to come back soon, their defense is limited as far as what it can and cannot do. Want to see if the Panthers retained its offensive identity? And did the defense hold up? Find out next on Growlin' and Prowlin'. Welcome back, you guys. Thank you all so much for joining us on another edition of Growlin' and Prowlin'. Of course, I am Mr. CeeLo, here to talk about today's game. And guys, I am not in the best of mood. I really am not.
Who cares?
But first, let's get into today's game. Well, let's do a little bit of house cleaning, because I love to hear what you guys have to say. A lot of people have, and one of the guys that I want to put out there is, and it comes from Ricky Harris, who said, "I can see Dave getting his firing pin ready. Firing pin ready. The players are turning a little bit of deaf ear towards the coach. It's really sad." Well, here's the reason why, Ricky, and I agree with you. Because when you go down the field, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, guys, but
if something's not broken,
why in the world are you fixing it mid-game?
What the
bruh?
dumb shit? Dumb shit?
So, yeah, Dave can get his firing pin ready if he wants to. Fact is, he should fire him. The fact is, it may need to be him. And you guys know I'm not for taking anybody's job. But I'll get into why it should be him that gets the boot. Also, Jamie says, "I was hoping so, but I had my doubts. But I cheered on anyway with my jersey on, my Panthers hat turned backwards, and my Panthers Bud Light beer and Sphinx garlic honey chicken tenders, and my dogs with their jerseys on. But no luck. We still lost again. Dang it. LOL. Maybe next time." And then Larry says, "I guess." Well, and listen, here's the reality. If you guys have not watched my show, the one that previewed early this morning, I'm sorry I didn't get it up sooner. Maybe Canales could have used this piece of advice. Can Hubbard and the Panthers run past the Bears? You guys are going to see why I'm putting so much emphasis on this. Listen, guys, I am no expert by any means, but I have watched, coached, played enough football to know when a team shows you who they are, weakness-wise, wouldn't common sense tell you to attack that? I don't know. It's for food for thought if you ask me. Guys, I want you to go back and watch that show. I gave you two important stats about the Bears, and it all has to do with their pass rush. And the reality of it is, ladies and gentlemen, when you know a team is good at something, why do you game plan to attack them there?
You fucking idiot.
I'm not understanding why, if a team is good at something, why is this going to be your plan of attack? Did you think that Chicago was just going to stop being good at the pass?
It's official. You suck.
I want you to watch the show. But I am going to give you a little bit of background. Like I said, that group was Carolina Panthers fan page. That came from Jamie and Larry. Jamie, I feel you. I didn't have the wings. And you seem like the kind of guy that, like me until I started doing the show. I got my jerseys. If you go back and watch my earlier shows, I was wearing my jerseys. Now I've retired them. So now I have to watch them in totality so that I can critique them for you guys, tell you the ins and the outs of it. But I love the fact that you're so passionate about it and you're so forgiving. I can't be so forgiving right now because I'm tired of what I'm seeing. It's Ricky, you're going to be the fan of this show, and he came from Carolina Panthers fans for life. But as I said before, it makes me sick when you're watching a game, ladies and gentlemen. You get a feel of how it is going to go, and then all of a sudden, everything just goes in the tank. It's pretty pathetic. It's very pathetic. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. It's very pathetic. And looking around at what we have and what we're about to endure, it's not gonna be a lot of fun. Because, when you think about how efficient the Carolina Panthers were on the first drive, and we're going to get into it, but I know I've kind of skipped around a little bit, but I'm angry, you guys. I'm not even going to lie. I'm just going to say it. When you really start investing in a team and you care as much as myself and a lot of the guys and gals that are part of this Growlin' and Prowlin' family, you want to be successful. You want this team so badly. You want to be able to go to your job. You want to be able to wear your Carolina Panther merchandise with such pride that it so eats away at you that you can't be successful. But as it goes, Bears 36, Panthers 10. Now, I know you guys are going to be like, oh, he's here early today. Oh, he's very early. Oh, yeah, I'm very early because I am agitated. I had to watch that Bengals-Ravens game, another team that gave away a game, but unfortunately it was another bad coaching decision, but I'm not going to talk about that on this show. But I want to talk about how Dave Canales screwed this game up. And I'm going to prove it to you. How many of you guys recall the second drive of this game? I want you to think about the second drive of this game. The drive where we went down the field, scored. I want you to pay close attention to how many runs we had. I don't want to hear anything about all of these analysts that say, oh, the Carolina Panthers have got to call better plays and this, that, and other. No, we were supposed to be a running team. This came out of Dave Canales' mouth when he took this position and started saying that we're going to build this offensive line up and run the football. And then we also lost Taylor Moton in this game. So you had even more of an incentive to have to run this football. Well, you're going to bring a brand new tackle in this game and ask him to pass block. A pass rush that averages a sack every 8 dropbacks?
Why don't you explain it to me?
What? Yeah, I'm on you right now, Dave Canales, because right now you look like a rookie play caller. I'm sorry, guys. I am upset. I am trying to keep my volume down, so if I get a little up there, please bear with me, because I am like you guys. And Andy Dalton's accuracy was off, but let me get back to the point. I know a lot of you are going to say, well, why are you looking at notes if you understand what happened? Let's look right here. You went right down the field and scored on this drive. Okay, the first play on first time, you gave it to Deontay Johnson on an end around for 2 yards. Okay, whoop-de-doo. Dalton throws it to David Moore for 6 yards. 3rd and 2. Dalton pass short right to Chuba Hubbard and barely got a first down. Then the problem I have is you don't get the first down. Well, excuse me, you get Deontay Johnson on a 4th down and 1, which is a great play call because everybody's bunched up in there. You send him down there. Everybody generally thinks that the guy who's running down in motion from the split end position, he's not going to get the football. You're going to try to go up the middle, which was correct.
Outstanding. Excellent.
Then you have the 38-yard Chuba Hubbard touchdown.
Well done.
Run.
Now, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, you have found some gaping holes in this Bears defense. I'm trying to figure out for the life of me. You ran the ball with Chuba Hubbard twice. And this guy has 43 yards on 2 carries. 43 yards on 2 carries. What is it about Chuba Hubbard that you have a problem with, Dave Canales? Because I'm going to be honest with you. On the very next drive, you gave the ball to Hubbard. Let's look right here. You get a 5-yard run, 2nd and 5. You give it back to Hubbard for 6 yards, first down. Then you proceed to throw the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of the next 10 plays. And that's 3 drives.
It's not funny, Ed. Hey, shut up!
Now, remember the graphic I gave you guys? And there was a, if I recall correctly, there was a sack on each one of those drives. Yes, I am correct. No, I'm sorry, there was a sack on 2 of those drives. 2 of those 3 drives. Now, what did I tell you guys was the graphic there? A sack for every 8 dropbacks.
Bruh.
And the problem I'm seeing is this is when the game got out of hand because the very next play after Trimble was out into concussion protocol, which we hope you're okay, Tommy. You know, I'm a big fan of yours. I hope you're good, buddy. It made it 21-7. Then we proceed to, once again, run the ball, 2-minute warning. Then you throw, get a first down. Then there's another throw, incomplete. Then there's another throw, David Moore. Then there's another throw, Davian Sanders. Then there's another throw. And then you get that touchdown that pretty much seals the deal. So we're in a 27-7 hole at halftime. Now, the reason why I want to bring this up is because I want you to look at the totality of this game, guys. Chuba Hubbard finished this game with 13 carries and 97 yards and a touchdown. I don't even understand why we put Miles Sanders out there. Because he's out there tippy-toeing. I love the way Chuba Hubbard goes out there and he asserts himself. He figures out where he's going. Matter of fact, Sanders got one of his runs where he just run right into the pile. And he had a lane to the left outside. Nobody was out there. All he had to do was cut it outside. That's what I love about Chuba Hubbard. You can tell a guy that has understood, if we're going to make a play, I got to make it. Miles Sanders is just that guy that's like, I'm just here. And I hate to call out a player. But I was never a fan of Miles Sanders at Philadelphia. I was never a fan of him when we took him. We would have been better off taking Deontay Foreman and bringing him back. That's who you need to go get, Dan Morgan. You sitting there talking about we want guys with that attitude. You were here when Scott Fitter was here, but you guys let him walk. He wasn't nothing but Derrick Henry in a smaller baggage. 13 carries, 97 yards.
Damn you.
Bruh.
I don't know who's in charge of ringing in Dave Canales, but I can assure you it's somebody who he hired. Because here's the reality. If I was that guy, I don't care if he hired me or not. You are going to get told we need to run the damn ball. 13 carries, 97 yards. The Panthers ran the ball 19 times for 120 yards. And people are going to say, well, the 38-yard. No, it wasn't. You can take that off. You take that off. Guess what? It's 12 carries. 12 carries for 59 yards. You still right at 5 yards a carry. So why sit here and BS everybody into thinking that your identity is to run the football? Especially when you do not have a proven guy at quarterback. Listen, everybody was in love with Andy Dalton. I'm going to tell you, he was off bad today. Behind today was the theme. Even Mingo had to dive out for a throw. If Dalton just leads him easily instead of just flinging it down the field, guess what? Mingo's got a touchdown. You guys know what I'm talking about? That long one he hit Mingo on? Mingo should have had to dive for that. Dalton was off so bad today, he couldn't even hit that one. And listen, I'm not saying that we should go back to the Bryce Young, even though Bryce did look pretty good on that drive, considering the fact that, they got all the way into the red zone, and I don't understand why Miles Sanders is playing with him. When is the identity going to come into play? When are we going to establish our identity? Because 1 minute it looked like, hey, we're going to be this running football team with two backs. 19 attempts. And then here's the thing, 35 passing attempts. You nearly doubling that yet again. And then I know what a lot of people are going to say. You're going to say, well, we got behind. You know why you got behind? You didn't want to run the football. You got two physical presences. Now, we don't know the extent of Xavier Legette's injury. He went out of the game. And hopefully his injury is not severe. It's not major. And he can come back. But I did see a concerted effort to, as I said before, we needed to get Jonathan Mingo more involved. We needed to get him more involved, and we did. So that was good on that point. But here's the truth. What do the Carolina Panthers have against Chuba Hubbard? I want to know the answer, because the reality of it is I am sick of it. I'm sick and tired of wondering how come Chuba Hubbard, a guy who has proven himself to be a valuable piece to this offense and arguably a star, but you refuse to give him a football. I don't understand, Dave Canales. I really don't, especially when your statement was, we're going to run the football more. I really am struggling with it. Help me understand. Because I am extremely confused. Defensively, there are a lot of people that are going to say 36 points. 36 points, hey, I can't help you when we're throwing interceptions and then we're so limited on that side of the football. And the truth of the matter is, if you can keep this game close, and I'm gonna go ahead and say this. Do you guys the truth of the matter of this is, I told you guys in the other show, if Caleb Williams gets hot, this is going to be, he's very good. I mean, you got to understand that Caleb Williams is a confidence type kid. He's a confidence type player. And if you can rattle him, and you can get him in rushing and trying to do things too fast, what eventually happens is he starts to overthink and he starts pressing. He had a couple of moments where he tried to press, but the real problem when you're not running the football, you're allowing the game to be extended, which means when you throw in completions, that simply means that you're allowing the offense more opportunities and you're not running the clock out. You're not keeping them on the sidelines very long. That is never a good thing, especially when you've got a good running game. When you have a good running game, you must use it. I've yet to see a team that has a good running game that, let me not run the ball. Let me just throw it. I mean, even as good as Michael Irvin and Alvin Harper and Jay Novacek were, as good as they were, you still had Emmitt Smith. Let us go down, because I just had to throw those up, because the reality of it is we lost that game because Dave Canales already was panicking. You want to throw the football instead of running it. Now, I know many of you may not agree, but it's the truth. The proof is in the pudding. But I'm going to talk about the defense, but the truth of the matter is there's not much to talk about. We've got so many guys that are on. We've got more stars on injured reserve than we do on the field. We've still got guys that are trying to come back. And let me just run down it. As you look at Swift had 21 carries, 73 yards for the Bears and a score. And then you look and you see DJ Moore. Great to see him again. Of course, he's on the other side. It was not great to see him again torching us. 5 grabs, over 100 yards, 105 to be exact. 2 touchdowns. One of my favorite players, Cole Kmet, 3 grabs, 57 yards. Swift also added 2 more grabs for 47 yards. Rome Odunze, the rookie, 5 for 40. Keenan Allen, 3 for 33. Then looking at our side, we look at Jalen Coker, the rookie, looked really good. 4 grabs, 68 yards. Chuba Hubbard had 4 grabs minus 2. Then you had Mingo, as I said earlier, had 2 grabs for 37 yards, as well as Deontay Johnson's 2 for 23. 3 for 23, excuse me. And essentially, the only thing Miles Sanders is good for, in my opinion, is a screen back. Because outside of running the football, he has to be in the mood that day. He had 2 catches for 27 yards receiving. As far as a running back, he had 2 carries for 6 yards. And then we had 2 fumbles, one of which was on Chuba Hubbard, which is a tough one because he caught it and it looked like as soon as he got ready to put it away, it got smacked out. It was a great play. And then Tommy Tremble had his fumble when it appeared he took that concussion. But let me brag on the defense a little bit. I got to give a growl out to Trevin Wallace. I mean, this kid 15 tackles in this game, and he had 2 huge stops. One on that opening 4th down stop, and then he had another one on a large 3rd down play where he just kind of stymied the running back. And as I said in the show, I truly believe that he's going to be a good player. And like I said, at the end of the day, you're asking this guy to do it all by himself in that linebacking core. And that's just not going to cut it. we're going to have to find another guy to be right there beside him because right now he's doing a lot. Troy Hill had 6 tackles today. Shy Tuttle had 6. Xavier Woods had 7. J.C. Horn had 6. And he's probably going to be the guy that is going to be the recipient of a lot of criticism because of that altercation at the end. And I usually don't talk about play-by-play analysis, but I do not like Jonathan Vilma. There are a lot of color commentators that do a great job, and then there's some like him who made a statement about J.C. Horn today when he got beat by DJ Moore, and it was a great play design where Moore goes across, there's another route cross in the middle of the field. He says Horn's looking around like he's trying to pass it to somebody. You're in man coverage. Who you going to pass it to? This ain't zone, Vilma. You don't know zone from man to man? No, what it was is the play was going right there where he was. He couldn't get knocked down. He was trying to avoid getting knocked down.
What a dumbass.
Yeah, so a lot of times color commentators are just... And then he made the stupid statement why J.C. Horn got upset and went at the guard that was coming. Well, here's the thing. Sometimes it's called you got off. You weren't exactly the calmest player out there. So I think a lot of times you speak and don't think. And I'm referring to a lot of them. You remind me a lot of Keyshawn Johnson, Chris Canty, and Shannon Sharp. Sometimes you just need to keep your remarks to yourself because you don't know how ignorant you sound. And you call yourself a player? Yeah, I get it. I'm not live like you guys are, but here's the reality. Sometimes you need to think before you speak. Sometimes less is more. And if you guys don't know, I'll be doing a show on Chris Canty, Shannon Sharp, and Keyshawn Johnson and how their biases towards certain players are blatantly obvious now. But anyway, that's not neither here nor there. I just wanted to tell you that. That's on my show, Gridiron Gab Pro Style, if you want to check it out. But going back to this, Jadeveon Clowney was hurt as well. He finally had a tackle for a loss. He actually showed up. DJ Johnson went in and went out of this game. What was funny about this game is you didn't hear much from Michael Jackson. I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of this guy. Shaw Smith-Wade saw his first action in limited action today. I'm actually interested in seeing Caleb Farley. I know they're going to have to bring him up to speed, and I know a lot of people are saying we're going to have to get Farley up to date. Right now, I'm not worried about our defense secondary because everybody's going to say, well, they can't come. Well, the problem is we're not getting pressure. Coach Avero's got to go back and figure out how we're going to get pressure. We need Barno back. We need DJ Wanham. And hopefully, Jadeveon Clowney's not hurt to the extent that they're saying. I haven't heard anything, but he didn't come back. I'm hoping he's not hurt because we can't afford to lose anymore. We really can't. But guys, listen, chin up. And like I said, Dave Canales better take the brunt of this. Because you lost this game in the early stages of this football game. You do not have a running back run for 97 yards. And you go away from it. Because I'm going to be honest with you. Looking at this game was out of hand before you even gave it a chance to start. Because guess what? You decided, hey, I'm just going to do with Dandy Dalton. Look, if the run is working, stay with it until they stop you. Why are you stopping? But as I said, you guys, I was not thrilled with this, and this was a team we could have easily gotten back on track with. It went awry early, right after we went up 7-0. Right after we went up 7-0. Don't get me wrong, it was a great play. As I said, the long one to DJ Moore, the 34-yarder. But it all boils down to the fact that we can stop the run in bunches, but we can't get any pressure. And until we can get some pressure, I don't care how good your corners are back there, you can't ask them to cover all night. Eventually, somebody's going to get open, and a guy like Caleb Williams, he's going to extend plays. And there were several times that our guys could not get our hands on him. 36-10 Bears as the Carolina Panthers fall to 1-4. Good thing is we got to see Bryce Young lead a drive, and I was actually happy about that. He looked exceptionally more poised and a little bit less rattled. He was more in command, as it seems. But you can never tell about those things when you're game planned against. They're totally different elements that are involved there. You know, most teams say, "Oh, we prepared for both of them." No, you don't. You prepared for Dalton, and needless to say, everybody's got film on them. Just like I've said before, once you get film on a quarterback, a lot of times what happens is they change their approach. And Canales is the reason for that. Canales is the one that's going to take this one on the chin. At least in my eyes, and in y'all's eyes, it should be that way too. Because, like I said, when you got a guy that nearly breaks 100 yards and you get blown out by 26, yeah. An offense's best friend is the running game. A quarterback's best friend is the running game. A lineman's best friend is the running game. A defensive pass rush's worst nightmare is the running game. Hit me up on Instagram, you guys, at Mr. CeeLo, and check out all the other things that I'm involved in, so you can keep up with me, as well as going to the Growling and Prowling Facebook and checking out the things that we're involved in. I will have a poll up. Who do you blame this loss on? And I know a lot of people are going to say, why are you being so negative? Well, because guess what? Dave Canales needs to feel some heat. Because that was inexcusable. You get a team that can't stop your running game and you want to throw it. Also, comment down in the lower section down there. Guys, if you add me, please, if you add this content and subscribe to it as well as liking it, make sure you put your name in the comment section so I can know it, so we can get to that 100th subscriber, and that'll put that boot on me to start working on that t-shirt. The custom-made Growling and Prowling t-shirt. But that's going to do it for us, you guys. Y'all stay safe. And remember, the people that were affected by Hurricane Helene, keep them in your prayers. There are still people without power. There were a few of my friends that texted me today and said they've got power. The areas affected, keep Florida, Georgia, as well as South Carolina, North Carolina, and Tennessee, and other areas that were brushly affected by Hurricane Helene. Also, my prayers are out there for you guys that are in the Florida area for this next hurricane that's coming through. So you guys be safe and hunker down, and I pray that everything works out for you. But until the next time, keep prowling the airwaves and keep growling out. Keep pounding.